On today's show, Donovan Mitchell, what a performance. 71, new Cavalier high, one of the best performances ever in a Cavs uniform. We'll talk all about it on this episode of Locked on Cavs.
You are Locked on Cavs, your daily Cleveland Cavaliers podcast.
All right, the music you're hearing on the way in is from our friends at Astro Radio. I'm Chris Manning. I cover the Cavs for places like Fear the Sword and Down UpRocks. That man over there is the proprietor of Down Euclid. He is Evan Dammarell. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. That's PrizePicks.com. The promo code is LOCKEDON. There's only one place to go here, Evan. We both just got home. Cavs beat the Bulls, second time in 2 games, a very different one than the last time. They win this one 145-34, but Donovan Mitchell scores 71 points. Let's repeat that. 71 points for Donovan Mitchell. No Darius Garland, no Evan Mobley for Cleveland in this one. Mitchell plays 49 minutes, nearly 50. Shoots the ball 34 times. He is 7 of 15 from 3. He's 22 of 34 from the field overall. He is 20 of 25 from the line. He had 11 assists, 8 rebounds, 71 points. Let's say that again. 71, Evan. I am hard pressed to think of very many performances by Cavs players that were better. Kevin Love, the man himself who played with LeBron in the finals several times, who won a championship with LeBron, who was with Kyrie when Kyrie drops 57 in San Antonio, 55 against Portland. Kevin Love, who had some crazy performances of his own, right? Think about that Portland game where Kevin Love just was on fire in the first quarter. He said this is the best performance he's ever been around. He said that post-game. This is an all-time performance from Donovan Mitchell.
And for those at home, if you need more context for it, in the year 2023, Donovan Mitchell was averaging 71 points per game. But this, to be frank, like my friend and friend of the program, Jordan Christmas, texted me, and he said it best. We literally witnessed history tonight. Like the Rocket. I'm trying to put this into context properly. Like I jokingly said to Chris, imagine being the Bulls. You were up 65-47 at halftime, and then just gave up. In the second half alone, you gave up 42 points to Donovan Mitchell, and then in the overtime period, you gave up an additional 13 points to Donovan Mitchell. Like, obviously, you can just throw up your hands and just say, it's one of those games, but this was history. Like, by and far, Donovan Mitchell is the 7th player in NBA history to score 71 points. This is the most points scored in a regular season game up to this point this season. Donovan Mitchell owns, and I mean owns, the Cavaliers single game high scoring record, and I don't think any player is ever really going to come close to shattering it, because this is a Herculean effort just on Donovan Mitchell's part. He played the entire third quarter, he played the entire fourth quarter, he played the entire overtime period. He just kept telling JB Bickerstaff to keep him in and keep on trusting him, and I thought it was funny. Speaking of Bickerstaff, where they had a conversation with each other after the game and also heading into the overtime period, and Mitchell kind of shared some insight on it, obviously, but it's a private conversation between those two, so I don't think we'll truly know what was said or exchanged between them. But when Mitchell made that shot after missing his own free throw and just had the presence of mind to grab it and somehow just heave it up and just it goes in, like you kind of knew like this is going to be one of those games, but I didn't quite expect him just to go completely unconscious in the overtime period itself. Like this is just an insane game. Like I don't know how many other ways we can say this. Like we talk about this quite a bit on this show. Donovan Mitchell is by and far Cleveland's MVP this season. I think he's by and far should be in the conversation for the MVP race this season. He may not win it, but this is one of those games you're saying like, oh, holy crap, Donovan Mitchell should definitely be in the conversation. But my new takeaway.
Look. Let's not even like. I think
I'm gonna say Donovan Mitchell.
They just want to point this out for real quick. Just historically, the single game, regardless of what will come. Here are the players that have scored more points in a game than him, all time. The only players: Will Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, and David Thompson. He had the same highs that Elgin Baylor did, that David Robinson did. He has scored more points in a game. Devin Booker had 70 in 2017. He's not beaten that. He scored more points in a game than Michael Jordan ever did, than Pete Maravich, than LeBron James, than Rick Barry, than Jerry West, the logo himself. This is like a game that just like in this singular moment, like regardless of like his MVP status of the season, this is singular. This is there will I don't think either of us will ever go to a game, or people that were at this game will ever be at a game that was like this. There will be nothing ever like this that Mitchell will ever. This is singular.
Oh no, absolutely. And I think just what really crystallized it for me as it being a special moment is Chuck Swirsky, who does the radio play-by-play for the Bulls, was doing the television play-by-play for the Raptors when Kobe dropped that 81 on Toronto, and he went in to personally congratulate Donovan. And it's just like, it's moments like that where you're like, yeah, this is truly like a historical moment. And I think it's just hard to completely wrap your mind around what we witnessed, because again, like this game felt like it was just not going to be Cleveland's night at first. Like it felt like the Chicago Bulls were going to get whatever they wanted on either end of the floor, and they were playing very good defense on Donovan Mitchell in the first half, but somehow, some way, this Cavs team dug deep, and Donovan Mitchell's shoulders are just more than broad enough to put the team on his back and have a truly historical performance. Like, it's just nuts, man. Like, I said this, and I feel very strong in saying this, and I feel like I can back this up. Like, he is the best player to wear a Cavaliers uniform since LeBron James, and that was a couple years ago, but I've just never seen a player this dynamic on a night-to-night basis, and this is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. But I've watched Donovan Mitchell all season long, and like, holy crap, he's just capable of doing so many amazing things every single night.
When I go to this game, just point blank, is that I think the way they win this game, they're down 15 at the half. Mitchell had like a kind of a ho-hum first half. His first half stat line is 5 of 10 from the field, played 20 minutes, 3 of 7 from 3, 3 of 5 from the line, 16 points, 3 assists, a rebound, like just kind of like, he was there, he was fine, he was Donovan Mitchell, nothing crazy. Second half, including from there, 42 in the second half, adds another several adds another 13 in overtime, to 55 if you include overtime, and in the second half, it's just like an insane performance that he just was the reason the Cavs won. Like, yes, other guys contributed. Jared Allen had some great defense on DeMar DeRozan late in this game. Kevin Love was awesome in this game, like absolutely an awesome Kevin Love game. I just don't know if I have ever in my entire life seen someone just so singular in that way, in that kind of moment. And then you look at what happened at the end of this game. I think maybe the best way for me to think about this is, end of this game, we see usually end of the game, Serena Winters does her post-game interview, and people leave. People don't stay for that. Like, did half the arena sit around and hang out? Half? Yeah, is that understating it?
They're watching, listening to the man literally in the arena, like the guy who was everything for this game. Like, yeah, you don't see that. Usually people file out and head home to their cars. People stayed and watched because you're just kind of basking in a legendary moment. It's insane.
People just were like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to hang out and I'm going to watch Donovan Mitchell talk and embrace this. Jetty Osborne's over, gives him MVP chance. Like, this was just like, I don't even know in any way like how I am just flabbergasted at what he did. I am in amazement at what he did. We're going to continue talking about it. We're going to go through like just some of, I think, the stand-up butts of it, and we'll give it our awards. And we'll go to awards next. We'll come back, and we're going to do something. Evan, we got a break, though. I am just, my brain is just destroyed thinking about how incredible Donovan Mitchell was in this game.
I feel the same way, my friend, but I will take the first ad read so you can kind of just recharge, recheck, and we'll be back with more Locked On Donovan Mitchell after this. But today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. To play, pick 2 to 5 players, and if they go score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. There's no competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, soccer, WNBA, esports, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, boxing, disc golf, Eurobasket, cricket, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy, and they even offer safe and fast withdrawals. PrizePicks is not currently operational in Ohio yet, but it is also operational in 30 states as well as Canada. Download the PrizePicks apps today or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match of up to $100. I mean, folks, just put it this way. If you made a PrizePicks projection on Donovan Mitchell scoring more than 47 points as the Cavs record, you would have won big with today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Check them out today at prizepicks.com and use promo code LOCKEDON when you sign up.
All right, back here on Locked On Cavs, Chris Manning, Evan Dammarell, aka Locked On Donovan Mitchell. So, Evan, I think what stands out to me most about this Mitchell performance, I think, is just the motor. This is a guy that, you could see him getting tired. You could see him, fatiguing. And, him needing, Karis LeVert to, maybe make one bucket. Karis LeVert to, step up in one moment and, come through and, give them something. They needed someone to give them something, right? And it wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. This wasn't a night where, they were always getting stuff from other guys. Particularly other guys that played the ball in their hands. And he just kept coming and coming and coming. The free throw that he misses and then puts in at the end of regulation, the buckets in overtime, just the continually attacking the rim and not just settling for jumpers, but also making the jumpers he takes. I just was amazed. That's just how often it felt like he just kept coming and coming and coming. And it was again, he was not great in the first half. He was just he was whatever. And he put 55 up in the second half. I mean, for him to do that is just it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is absolutely crazy to think about. And like you said, Chicago did, we will talk a little bit about this game. Chicago did a very good job defending Donovan Mitchell in the first half. It was a lot of what worked for the Bulls in that game, the last game of 2022 for Cleveland and Chicago, where Donovan Mitchell kind of had a ho-hum night in general, and the Cavs kind of had to use a team effort to beat the Bulls in Chicago like that and kind of get that losing skid and bad taste of that losing skid out of their mouth. But again, you don't know. You could ask Donovan Mitchell when he thought this was going to be just a truly special, maybe even historic night, and he said it was the play which he grabbed the missed free throw and was able to kind of put it in to tie the game. And by JV Bickerstaff's admission and Mitchell's admission, is a play they practiced once when they were preparing for Toronto, and Mitchell apparently told Bickerstaff to sub Robin Lopez in so they could run that play. So it's just crazy to think, because even Mitchell that wanted to break down the play even further, he had plans within those reads as well, or if he didn't get a clean enough look at the basket, he was going to kick it to Kevin Love in the corner, or maybe find Karis LeVert at the top of the key to streak into the basket to maybe get a layup. And it's just crazy to think just that sequence of events and how things went. And then you just watch Donovan Mitchell just do a ton of awesome, fun stuff all throughout the fourth quarter, obviously, and then the overtime period. And it's just it's the pull-ups, it's the crossovers, it's the step backs, it's just using the contact to get to the line, the physicality. Let us note the fact that overall, Donovan Mitchell was 20 of 25 from the free throw line tonight. Like Chris said, one of those misses was intentional, but he was truly just lethal every single step of the way for the Cavs. And I had noted this back when he kind of started erupting the fourth quarter a little bit, and the Cavs were kind of getting close, when I thought this was going to be a loss still for Cleveland because Chicago was kind of keeping distance. I originally think I wrote that this game wouldn't have been as close without Donovan Mitchell. Now, this game would have been a victory if it wasn't for Donovan Mitchell. He was nearly responsible for more than 50% of Cleveland's points tonight. And if you factor in assists, he was responsible for more than 50% of Cleveland's points tonight. Like you said, the motor just runs so hot, and I've just never seen a player at least face to face, just watch a guy who consistently runs so hot on a nightly basis like that. And like, yes, he has had some bad performances this season and up to this point, but holy cow, it's just what a game.
I just can't think of I cannot think of a single thing from Mitchell, a single performance, a single part of this performance that like it just, like especially in the second half where it's just like, okay, like he's gonna he just was like, okay, like I have to go, that's fine, like I'm just gonna push and I'm gonna push and I'm gonna push, and it's just like at a certain point it's just like you expect him to maybe just run out of gas and it'd be too much. And like DeMar DeRozan had 44.
Yeah, that like
like
DeMar DeRozan had a great game.
Didn't matter.
And it's not just that, like Zach LaVine had 26. Nikola Vucevic had 20 and 13 and was working Jared Allen all night.
Nick Vucevic hit that 3 and I was like, oh, like I thought the Cavs were done at that point. The Cavs were probably going to, I was like, they're definitely going to lose at this point because he hits that 3 and it's like, well, this is over, right? Like that's what it felt like in that moment to me. And then instead it's like, oh, they're going to get this free throw. They're going to just absolutely dominate overtime. The Cavs won overtime 15-4. I mean, here's the quarter by quarter scoring. This is just like, I'm looking at this now for the first time and it's kind of crazy. Bulls 34-27 in the first quarter. Bulls 31-20 in the second quarter. I was like, oh, this game's like kind of over. Third quarter, Cavs win 44-31. Fourth quarter, they win 39-34. Overtime, 15-4. The Bulls in overtime made a whopping 1 shot. DeMar DeRozan made 1 2-point field goal. Everyone else missed. The Cavs were 5 of 10 and 3 of 6 from 3. The Bulls were 0 of 6 from 3. Like
it's nutty. It's like I said, man, if you are the Bulls, you can obviously throw your hands up and say, like, listen, there's nothing you can do when a guy scores 71 points at the end of the day, but you have to be beside yourself a little bit that you were playing very, very good defense on the Cavs and also a very good home team in the Cavs, and you just get absolutely thumped in the third quarter. So the third quarter alone, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a ball game. Mitchell had 24 points and it was 12 of 12 from the free throw line and 6 of 9 from the floor. Like, you started noticing that engine of his getting a little bit hotter there, but holy cow, like if you're the Bulls, like, okay, maybe we let Donovan Mitchell try to beat us on his own, and then guess what? They did tempt fate and they danced with the devil a little bit there because they let Donovan Mitchell beat them on his own.
All right, we'll go into one more break. We'll come back. We're going to just discuss, like, I think what are in our mind the biggest, best Cavs performances of all them, the ones we remember and where this kind of stacks up. Because again, Donovan Mitchell just scored 71 freaking points, and that is just like an absurd thing that Donovan Mitchell has done to drop again 71 points that in a basketball game. That is just an insane feat. We'll discuss all of that, but first, got to tell everyone about our friends at BetOnline. This episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every single professional and amateur league out there. That includes pro football, college bowls, the NBA, the NFL playoffs, and so much more. They have it all at BetOnline.net. For instance, right now the Cavs are plus 1,800 to win the NBA title this year. That gives them the 10th best odds in the league currently. The Celtics are currently the best odds in the league at plus 350. The Bucks are second at plus 600. The Nets are third at plus 750. The Clippers have the best odds of any team in the West right now at plus 950. If you love sports podcasts, you can even find those at BetOnline as well. So please go check that out too. And they're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, last segment, Locked On Cavs, Chris Manning, Evan Dammarell. So, Evan, where does this rank for you? Like, where does this stand to you among some of the other iconic Cavs performances we have seen?
See, it's tough because Kevin Love knows much better than I do. He was with the championship heyday Cavs in that second LeBron era. He was there when Kyrie tied or broke the franchise record of 47 points against San Antonio. He was there when LeBron tied the franchise record for 47 points. He was there for Game 6 when LeBron and Kyrie dropped 41 apiece, and they just kind of just absolutely thumped the Warriors in the NBA Finals. He was even there for LeBron and Kyrie to do absolutely insane stuff for Game 7, and Kevin Love said this is the greatest single game performance he's ever been a part of, and JB Bickerstaff kind of said the same, and JB Bickerstaff is like a student of the game and someone who just like deeply respects the history of the game. And obviously you can look at guys like Kobe. You can obviously reference the fact that like Wilt Chamberlain did score 100 points in a game once, and Wilt has, I'm looking at it right now, most of the more than 70 point scoring games in NBA history. But at least for me, and being in person for this was the greatest performance I've ever seen from an athlete, just on an individual scale. Like, Donovan Mitchell was tired. You could tell he was cramping up towards the end of things in overtime, but he just kept coming every single possession, and he wanted to kill the Bulls out there. And it was incredible, and it was remarkable to watch. Like, again, I said this in the first segment, like, he scored 71 freaking points. That is a franchise record for the Cavs that will probably never be touched ever. And Mitchell was asked about a post game, like, has he ever scored 71 points, whether it was college, high school, church league, anything in between? He's like, no. The only time I ever scored 71 points was when he was playing as himself in NBA 2K. Like, this was just incredible. Like, I'm still having a hard time processing it. Like, I came home and I told my fiance about it, and she isn't a big sports fan, but she kind of knew it was a big deal, but still couldn't grasp it. And like, I can't properly articulate how special this was, other than the fact that this was history. And I'm just incredibly fortunate to say that on a Monday night, right after New Year's, I got to witness sports history at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Like, that's neat.
Yeah, I think I put, there's probably, off the top of my head, I think there have to be some finals performances that go above what we are seeing, what we saw. Like, I think probably Game 1 of 2018, I know they lost, but like, just that LeBron performance was just absolutely bonkers. I think this is above the Kyrie 50-something games. For me, I think this is above any game Darius has had. I think you're right in saying that it's like one of those like singular things you'll probably never forget. I think for me that's definitely true. Like, I think back to like some of the finals, covering those and some of the LeBron stuff and the runs to the finals, and like I think there's like some magnitude of those a little bit different, but like this was just like, you don't want to also like undervalue what this was, just how dominant it was and how like just gargantuan a performance it was. And like the Cavs like needed this win. Like, let's not get this, like, let's not even get that twisted either. Like, the Cavs are a team that before they win on New Year's Eve in Chicago were on a losing streak, only their second of the year. They didn't play well in the first half. Again, they're down 15 at halftime. Like, they're in trouble. They're in danger of losing to a Bulls team. Even, you know, you have no Garland, no Mobley, like, but you're in danger of losing a game in a competitive East. That matters. And they get the win, and like there's stakes to that, and it's like a statement win that it's like Mitchell is this guy, like, and he has played at just such an insane level this year that this is like one of those like resume games for him. I think this is like I think this is a pantheon Cavs performance. I don't think there's like any way around that. I don't know where it falls in that pantheon. I don't know like if it's absolute. I don't know if it's the greatest performance anyone's ever had or anything in Cavs history. Like, I'm not like gonna sit here and say that just because it's so fresh. But like I can feel like if you wanted to put this on your Mount Rushmore in your pantheon in your museum of all time great Cavs performances, it's there. It is. And just like live, seeing it live certainly adds to that, because like it just got more absurd. Like the things he was doing and pulling off. I couldn't believe he was pulling some of these things off. The free throw, was just nuts.
The presence of mind, man, just to be able to be there, and the fact that I believe Cleveland had 4 big men on the floor when that free throw was happening, and like of all people, it's 6'1" Donovan Mitchell who grabs it. Like, that's crazy. It's just crazy.
So, Evan, let's end on just a couple small non-Donovan Mitchell things. Anything else stand out to you from this game? Any other performances?
I'm writing my recap up for Feed the Sword and scrapping it entirely. Like I spent most of the recap talking about how Cleveland doesn't have a clear answer at the small forward spot, and Lamar Stevens still may not be it for the permanent answer at the starting small forward. Maybe Dean Wade is your temporary solution. And also, it was nice to see Kevin Love kind of turn back the clock again for a second game and have a pretty positive impact. And like you saw him put his body on the line a few times. Like there was a possession where he tried to draw a charge and he whacked his head against Andre Drummond's calf, but he still kind of played through that. And then you kind of just see him battle through foul trouble and play some pretty solid defense on Vucevic at times too. But like, yes, he fouled out of the game with 6 fouls. I know JB Bickerstaff challenged it and dragged this game out a little bit further, but this was this is like just small stuff like that. But again, like you said, it's a pantheon moment. It's a historic moment for Donovan Mitchell, and it kind of trumps a lot of the cynicism I may have, or the quips or quibbles I may have about just like the small things in this game. And I'll just punt it till Wednesday against Phoenix, and maybe we'll see what happens then. And also, man, imagine trying to follow up this game on Wednesday.
Just give Donovan Mitchell the day off.
Really, man.
Just like let that's not how this works, but like just let him chill. Let him like play like the show and like make some think about the Mets.
Yeah, it's a nice way to reward
let
your
him
franchise's best player.
Let him do like a nice ice bath, and like Darius Garland can take him to Carbone or something. I don't know.
Bring Carbone to Cleveland challenge.
Yeah, they can do that. Or they can go like wherever. They have lots of money. They can go wherever they want. I thought one thing that I think will go like forgotten about in this game that I think is really, really interesting was that they put Jared Allen on DeMar DeRozan after Isaac Okoro fouls out, and it worked really, really well. DeRozan, like whether it was just fatigue, whether it was like the size of him, whatever it was, it's not something we like asked about post game, or like I even thought to, just because you're just like Donovan Mitchell just scored 71 points, nothing else matters, and that's true.
Yeah.
But what Allen did to kind of limit DeRozan down the stretch and make those looks harder for him, I think was a really big deal for Cleveland winning this game. DeRozan again has 44. Okoro's in foul trouble. They go away from Lamar. LeVert had no chance defending DeMar. And Allen is kind of the one who stepped up, and like that's like another notch. And Jared Allen's an all defense level guy, and maybe a defensive player of the year candidate kind of guy. That's a small little thing that I think won't get talked about, but I think mattered. Kevin Love had 17 rebounds, really big performance from him. They got 12 points, 3-9 from 3. Like they got just enough out of everybody else to really accentuate what Mitchell did, and that's like a funny way of looking at it. But it's like Jetty Osman hit some crazy threes. Okoro, I thought in his minutes was pretty solid. Played through some foul trouble. I like all these guys. It's about Mitchell. This is all about him. But like there's little stuff, and to me the Allen thing kind of stands out more than anything else.
No, actually, what stands out for me is veteran big man Robin Lopez noting that Robin Lopez and Donovan Mitchell combined for 72 points tonight, and that in itself is pretty historic.
I salute to Robin Lopez for that tweet. That's just like a good tweet. Like there are not many good tweets. I think most tweets are bad, but that tweet is good. Robin Lopez is like one of the few people who like I feel like comfortable being like that person will probably send like a funny tweet.
Yeah, just life is too short. Have fun. Man, still processing this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight just because like
wait.
It was like a shot of adrenaline in my system.
Can I read you? I gotta read you something. I opened up Twitter and this comes through. Tim Bontemps just tweeted this like an hour ago and I hadn't seen this, or 2 hours ago and I hadn't seen this. Kyrie Irving said he and Donovan Mitchell were playing Call of Duty this afternoon and that he knew Mitchell was quote locked in. Said he's happy Mitchell broke his Cavs record and that records are meant to be broken. The Call of Duty thing just sends me. I just get like Kyler Murray like PTSD and like Kyler like his like win like his struggles on like double XP weekends or whatever. And I'm just imagining Mitchell and Kyrie like playing Call of Duty. That's just like very funny to me. And like just him being
that's
like
funny.
And like just stuff. That quote. I need to see video of this now. Like I need to go to bed and like get some sleep, but I really just need to like see like the video of Kyrie Irving talking about Call of Duty and playing it. And now, like, when Donovan Mitchell next speaks to the media, like, I want to be like, hey, like, can you explain this Call of Duty game? Can you talk about this, please?
Don, what are your thoughts on Warzone? What's your loadout preference? What did you think of the campaign?
Donovan Mitchell tweeted about this as well, and he said, bruh told me and at Buckets O'Neal 00, it was Royce O'Neal, his very good friend, to take that nap and 3 crying emojis. And he tagged Kyrie.
That's funny.
God.
Oh, what a
night, Evan. What a night.
What a night, man. Just hope everyone else had as much fun watching this game as we did in person.
If you were there, like, please, like, shoot us. We'll read some. If you were there at the game and you want to, like, you have a story about, like, what you thought about it, maybe you send a voice memo to our lockdowncavs@gmail.com email or DM us or whatever. Like, we'd love to hear.
Comment on
like,
this video. Just comment about
let us know
this
if you're
game.
there.
And, like, where were you when Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points? Share your story with us in the comments below.
Yes, all right. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably talk more about this game because I can't really we're not going to be able to let this one go. But Donovan Mitchell, again, 71 freaking points. The Cavs won 145-134. I'm Chris Manning. That's Evan Dammarell. Thanks again to Jake Stevens for producing this one. Back at you tomorrow. Same time, same place. We're out of here.